Come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. Whether you came in pajamas today or not, you are welcome here. Whether your holiday season has been joyful, stressful, sad, or something else entirely, you are welcome here. This is a community of open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. Good morning and welcome to South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. My name is Caitlin. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a 5-foot-something woman with pajamas on today. And it's my privilege to be your worship associate this morning. Our worship leader this morning, there we go, I got it, is Matthew Morris. Okay, it is time to greet each other. We're going to start by greeting our online folks. If you turn around and wave, we're so glad you found us this morning. And then we're going to take a couple minutes to greet each other, and we will call you back with music. If you would rise for our chalice lighting as you're willing and able. I would like to call you into this space with an invocation. We light this chalice on the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with intention. I would like to invite Matilda up to light our chalice today. Those at home are invited to light a chalice, and you're welcome to share in the chat when you have done so. If you would say our chalice lighting words with me. May my chalice, for love, for the light of truth, for the action, and flames of resistance. You may be seated.
So do you guys know what it means to feel self-conscious? Can you tell me what it means to feel self-conscious? I would love an example of maybe a time that you felt that way, or a definition. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's hard to talk about sometimes, isn't it? It's hard to say, this is a thing that makes me feel self-conscious, or this is a time when I was self-conscious. And I kind of want to do that right now and talk to you guys about it, because it's pajama day, and there are very few of us in pajamas. And that makes me feel a little self-conscious sometimes, because I'm sitting here in my pajamas, and people are probably wondering, why is he in his pajamas? If you don't get the newsletter, by the way, you should get the newsletter. It's called Happenings. Sign up for it. If you didn't read the newsletter, you wouldn't know that today was pajama day, and that was kind of just on the fly, so we couldn't even tell you at a previous service. So here we go with a recipe for Matthew to be sitting up here in pajamas, feeling like, man, I kind of stick out like a sore thumb here. And that's okay. So self-consciousness, right? That comes up a lot, and I think it's because we think about what other people think about us too much. One of the things that I realized as I've grown into myself, I don't mean when I turned 18, I understood this, right? It's taken me years and years and years of work to kind of understand this. But one of the things that I've come to understand is true is that when I'm feeling self-conscious, it's because I care and I'm worried about what the people around me think about me, and I'm concerned that I'm not living up to that in some way, shape, or form. And if you were to ask that person in the moment, hey, what are you thinking about? 9 times in 10, the answer is not going to be me, right? Because we think about ourselves a lot and not necessarily all that much about other people. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, that's what living is, right? We think about ourselves a lot. And I just lost my train of thought. Let's see. See, now I feel really self-conscious. Anyway, all that to say, it's okay to feel self-conscious. It's okay to feel like you stick out. And sometimes sticking out is what needs to happen. And sometimes someone needs to stick out so that more people feel included, right? Like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to wear pajamas today. I'm actually wearing regular clothes underneath this, so I'm hot. But I wasn't sure if I was going to wear my pajamas today. And then I realized if I showed up not in pajamas and you guys showed up in pajamas, I would have just been doing you a grave disservice. And that wouldn't be fair. So I'm in my pajamas, and I'm glad to be in my pajamas with you guys. So this has been a lot of me talking and you guys listening. Normally I like to have it be a little bit more back and forth, but I think we've hit on the salient points that I wanted to talk about. And to be completely honest, like we said, it's hard to talk about times when we feel self-conscious. So I hope this is an example to you that it's okay to talk to a person that's important to you, someone close to you, about feeling self-conscious about things, right? I'm willing to get up in front of a lot of people and tell you guys that I'm feeling self-conscious. And that in and of itself makes me feel self-conscious, like it's this cycle. But I hope you understand that this is a normal way to feel, and it's okay to feel that way, but just because you feel that way doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's true, right? Just because I feel like I'm sticking out doesn't mean it's true, just because I feel like I'm less than doesn't mean it's true, just because I feel like I'm whatever, it doesn't mean it's true. So I appreciate your time. Thank you guys for coming up here. Everyone in pajamas, thank you so much. You're true, ride or die, appreciate that. Yeah, let's sing the children out.
It is now time to take an offering. Here at South Valley, we usually have a split plate partner, but this is the 5th Sunday of the month, and so by tradition, today's offering goes to the South Valley Samaritan Fund, which is used to help people in our community, our friends and our neighbors who are in need of help with things like emergency covering rent or food or gas and things like that. So if you can give today, we would greatly appreciate that. For those at home, you are invited to use the giving link in your online order of service. For those here that no longer carry cash, you're also invited to use the giving link. We will now accept the offering. If you would read our words with me. We are His church, we are His hands, His heart, His voice. Together we share wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. If the ushers would come forward. For all that we have found the courage to give today, thank you. So we haven't done Joys and Sorrows in a little while, I don't think. There's so much going on this time of year.
And today, we're all gathered to participate in our ritual of joys and sorrows. Those who are joining us in the virtual community are invited to use the chat box in Zoom to share your joys and sorrows. For those gathered here in body, you are invited to approach the altar. There's one in the back, there's one in the front, and place a stone in the water. Feel free to pause as you select your stone and gently place it in the water bowl. You are invited to practice this ritual in silence. At the close of this ritual, when all who wish to have added their stone, we will add a final stone to represent those joys and sorrows unexpressed but still held in kindness. Those gathered here may now begin to process up to the tables. Please approach at your leisure. For those in our online community, connecting your joys and sorrows to ours. And one for all that is still on our hearts that remains unexpressed but held in kindness. Our reading today is one some of you may be familiar with. I hope it lands on you in a new way today. This is Ring Out Wild Bells by Alfred, Lord Tennyson. Ring out, wild bells, to the wild sky, the flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out, wild bells, and let him die. Ring out to the old, ring in the new. Ring happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let him go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind. For those that here we see no more. Ring out the feud of rich and poor. Ring in redress to all mankind. Ring out a slowly dying cause and ancient forms of party strife. Ring in the nobler modes of life with sweeter manners, purer laws. Ring out the want, the care, the sin, the faithless coldness of the times. Ring out my mournful rhymes, but ring the fuller minstrel in. Ring out false pride in place and blood, the civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right. Ring in the common love of good. Ring out old shapes and foul disease. Ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old. Ring in the 1,000 years of peace. Ring in the valiant man and free, the larger heart, the kindlier hand. Ring out the darkness of the land. Ring in the Christ that is to be. And so ends our reading. So I've got a lot written down here, and I'm going to get through most of it. But I just want to take a minute. There's all of this imagery around starting over, around rebirth, around the idea of a page turning. And I don't get down with that. I've never been a New Year's resolutions guy. I've never really been into the idea that we need some arbitrary point at which to begin or end a thing. I try to begin and end things as I wish during my life, you know. And I get that there's a point that many people appreciate the reset, but I posit it doesn't necessarily need to be a reset. Instead, as I'll cover, I think we look at it as an inventory. Time to take stock, figure out what we've got, what is and what isn't. And yeah, like I said, the new year arrives with a lot of noise. Everywhere we turn, we're told that something decisive has happened. A line has been crossed, a page has been turned. A new version of ourselves is expected to step forward, ready or not. But most of us do not experience the new year as a moment of rebirth. Most of us, I don't know, that's taking liberties. Many of us do not experience the new year as a moment of rebirth. We experience it as a continuation. We wake up on January 1st in the same body, with the same responsibilities, the same relationships, the same unanswered questions that we were carrying in December. And there's nothing wrong with that. The calendar has changed, but we haven't. This fact is often treated as a failure. I want to suggest it is simply the truth. So today, rather than talking about renewal or reinvention, I want to talk about taking stock, about the permission to remain unfinished. Not as an excuse, not as resignation, but as a grounded, realistic way of being alive. There's a cultural script that says the new year is a time to start over. Clean slate, fresh start, leave your past behind. The script is seductive because it promises relief. If we can start over, then we don't have to deal with what didn't change. We don't have to deal with what didn't change. We don't have to reckon with what remains complicated or heavy or unresolved. But most lives do not move forward by starting over. They move forward by carrying on. Carrying on requires something quieter and more complicated than rebirth. It requires inventory. It requires work. Inventory is not self-improvement. It's not evaluation. It's not judgment. It is simply noticing what is already there. Think of it less like a performance review and more like walking through a house you've lived in for years. There's that doorknob you learned to live with that's loose. There's that project you meant to finish. There's a room that you really want to redo, but it's just so much work and it works well enough right now. Inventory does not demand immediate action. It does not insist on solutions. It only asks for honesty. What is present? What is worn? What still functions? What has been carrying more weight than it should? This kind of noticing is not dramatic. It is stabilizing. Many of us resist inventory because we fear what it will reveal. We're afraid we'll discover that we are behind. That last year didn't deliver the changes we'd hoped for. Man, the last 10 years didn't necessarily, you know? That we are still circling the same issues and holding the same griefs. That last year didn't deliver the changes we had hoped for. But inventory does not accuse. Inventory does not ask, why haven't you fixed this yet? It asks, what is true? And the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, has weight.
It steadies us. Here's the part rarely ever said aloud. Even after an honest inventory, most things remain unfinished. This is not a malfunction. It is the condition of living. We are mid-sentence people, mid-project people, mid-repair people. We are not incomplete because we lack effort or discipline or clarity. We are incomplete because time does not stop long enough for completion. The new year does not suddenly resolve what is ongoing. It simply reminds us that the story is still in progress. There's a quiet cruelty in the idea that January is a deadline, as if by now we should have figured it out, as if continuity is a flaw, as if not arriving is the same thing as failing. But most meaningful things do not arrive all at once. They take shape slowly. They require pauses and they survive false starts. They change direction without asking permission. A life that is still becoming is not a problem to be solved. A life that is still becoming is not a problem to be solved. It is a reality to be inhabited. So let's be clear about what this moment does not require. It does not require a plan. It doesn't require optimism. It doesn't require you to turn unfinished business into motivation. It requires something sturdier. It asks that you stay. Stay with what is true. Stay with what has weight. Stay with the parts of your life that are still under construction. Not because staying is easy, but because leaving, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually, costs more than we like to admit. There is clarity in saying, this is where I am. This is what I'm carrying. This is what remains unfinished. That is not stagnation, that's orientation. Inventory tells us where we are standing. Unfinishedness tells us that movement does not require erasure. Together, they keep us from turning on ourselves. So if the new year feels anticlimactic, good. It probably means you're paying attention. If it feels heavy, good. The weight is real, and pretending otherwise does not make it lighter. If it feels unresolved, good. Resolution is not a prerequisite for worth. You do not need to justify your pace. You do not need to package your life as progress. You do not need to make meaning on a schedule. The year will move forward regardless. The question is not whether you will change. The question is whether you will remain present to the change that is happening. Let me say this plainly. You are allowed to carry unfinished things into this year. You are allowed to take stock without fixing. You are allowed to continue without pretending it's a beginning. Staying is not passivity, it's commitment. The new year does not ask you to become someone else. It asks you to remain with your life as it is, with your questions as they stand, with the long, ordinary work that refuses to be rushed. That is not rebirth. That is resolve. Thank you. Our closing hymn today is We'll Build a Land, number 121 in the hymnal, in the gray hymnal, the only one we put out today, so it should be the one you have. And please stand if you are willing and able in mind, body, and spirit.
chalice. If you would say our words with me, they're on the board. We extinguish the chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of action. We hold each other in our hearts until we begin again.
I hope you found something in the conversation today that you can take home with you. A happy new year to all of you. Please be safe. Take care of each other. I'm not the Benedictine type, so I'm just going to say have a great time. Take care of yourselves, and I love you all. Be well.
Cold is the water, it freezes your already cold mind, already cold, cold mind. And death is at your doorstep, and it will steal your innocence, but it will not steal your substance. But you are not alone in this, and you are not alone in this. As brothers we will stand and will hold your hand, hold your hand. And you are the mother of your baby child, the one to whom you gave life. And you have your choices, and these are what make man great, his ladder to the stars. But you are not alone in this. But you are not alone in this. As brothers we will stand and will hold your hand, hold your hand. But I will turn the night and whisper, lose your sight. But I can't move the mountains for you.